Okay, hey everybody. So I thought this would be kind of amusing to do. I can't guarantee I will go through all of this, but I'll go through a decent amount at least. So this one person just randomly decided, hey, let's put 99 of their hot takes on Twitter in a thread. And I mean, as you can see from the quote tweets, it kind of blew up a little bit in regards to getting people to respond, so I thought it'd be fun to go through it myself. Now, I already read about the first 10 before I kind of just bailed out, but then I'm like thinking, yeah, it might be fun to go through it in some sort of video or something. So I guess I'll be scrolling through it, and also because reaction content is pretty easy to do, I guess I'll just put my thoughts and to see how crazy and nutty these hot takes might actually get. So, alright, let's go to the first one. We got number 1. As someone who is a KH fan, I still don't know what the fuck Kingdom Hearts even is. Fair. To be fair, Nomura kind of just purposely does it like that, so it's sort of kind of just still a bit of a mystery, and I think that's the intention. So, fair point. I don't think that's a hot take. That's normal. Moving on. Birth by Sleep ruined the Cage story because that it just shows the characters. I don't know what he's getting at here, other than maybe he just doesn't like BBS's story. I don't think BBS ruined it necessarily. I think DDD is where it got a little stupid with the time travel mechanics. So I don't know if I agree with that, although I don't like Terra and Aqua as characters. They're kind of insufferable, but let's move on. Alright. I hate the Keyblade War. Remember when Sora was the chosen one? I think the Keyblade War made having Keyblade not special. This one actually is, you could consider it a hot take, but it's a common hot take, so it's not really that much of a hot take. Even in the first game, obviously, you had Sora had the Keyblade, Mickey had the Keyblade, Riku was able to wield it briefly, so, he's obviously not the only one that could use it. Yeah, the Keyblade War did kind of make it a little silly that, people relate a lot to the Star Wars prequels where everybody gets a lightsaber or something instead of it being like some sort of rarity. At this point, you kind of just have to accept it. Moving on. But granted, it's a fair take. Only Sora in all his variants, Riku, Kairi, Mickey, and maybe Xehanort should have Keyblades. Lee shouldn't have one because... I hate how he links this. Okay. Lee Axel was cooler when he had chakrams. Bring them back. I actually agree with this. For one, I don't think he should have a Keyblade either. I think it's a little unnecessary, but we know why, is because he was a popular character, so Nomura wanted to give him a Keyblade. But I actually do agree. I like that weapon better. It almost makes me wonder if he could start doing Keyblade transformations in the next game or something and then have it back. That'd be cool. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. Not much of a hot take, I think. I think it was another normal take. The mobile game shouldn't have been canon. Dear God, why was the mobile game canon? Yeah, okay, that's fair. I see this all the time, though. Once again, not really a hot take. I think the problem is I think they should probably incorporate the cutscenes into the next Kingdom Hearts game so people can review it, maybe. I know you can download the game now. It's not playable, so you can watch all the cutscenes and one of the lore, but I get that. Like, tying a bunch of lore, a very important lore, for the future of the series behind a mobile game is kind of annoying. So that was a fair take. You hate the story of the mobile game, fuck the houses, fuck Luchu, and fuck the MacGuffin box. I mean, fair. For me, I'm interested in Master of Masters more than anything out of the mobile game. But the box is kind of interesting too. I mean, what's in it? I want to know. Hopefully we'll find out within the next 10 years. Moving on. That being said, the mobile game wasn't bad gameplay-wise for a mobile game, but you can't even play it anymore, I think. Okay, yeah, well, alright, so that take is a bit interesting. I played it for a little bit. I hated it. Maybe I'm just not a big mobile game person in general, but it feels like Square struggles to get mobile games to work. So, Union Cross shut down, Dark Road failed pretty early, and everybody's eyes is just on Missing Link to see if maybe Square figured out how to make a good Kingdom Hearts mobile game. So, yeah, it's fair take, I guess. Once again, a lot of these aren't really hot takes. So, if people are... I don't know what people's reactions to these were, but if they're blowing up, they're just being dumb. Anyway, number 9. Kingdom Hearts was more enjoyable when the Disney villains were more prominent. You want Disney villains to be a part of the organization somehow, not just side antagonists. Okay, that's fair. That's also, once again, a common one. I don't know where this guy's hot takes are coming from. That's a common one because people did like the Disney villains in KH1 a lot because they were pretty, you know, important to the story because they obviously were in control of their own worlds, but also kind of like colluded together to try to, you know, take down Sora, with of course Maleficent kind of like leading them. And I do like the organization, the original one, a lot. I liked that story. I liked all the personalities, traits that they all had, and they were just a lot of fun to fight, you know, cool scenes and whatnot. But yeah, it'd be nice if the Disney villains also somewhat, you know, played a bit more of a part other than just Maleficent and Pete. Like if some of them could break out of their world maybe or something and contribute to the plot. We'll see. We'll see where that goes in KH4 maybe. Number 10, Dream Drop Distance is the worst KH game. No enemy knockback, terrible story, and you don't like Sora Riku switching mechanic because, oh, for fuck's sake. Because DDD would have been better as 2 stories separately, a la BBS, rather than switch back and forth at critical times and be interrupted. Still would be a bad game, but it would at least be less bad. Okay, I mean, this is where the story fell off for me with time travel. I'm not going to get into that because I ranted enough about that on streams. You know, it's hard to write in time travel into your story when it didn't start with it being introduced. But anyway, no enemy knockback. They sort of fixed that a little bit in the HD ports, but not enough. But yeah, that's the BBS had the same problem mostly, so I don't know why this person's singling out DDD only. Terrible story. Yeah, I agree with that. Not much of a hot take, I think. And he doesn't like the switching. A lot of people didn't like drop mechanic because it would just interrupt you. I don't mind dropping. I just wish we had more, like we could control it, you know? Like even if they gate the progression by having to go back and forth every so often, every couple worlds or so, I would rather have that choice than have to manage the terrible, annoying meter. At least they fixed it a lot in the HD port to be better, though. Okay, yeah, sure. I don't care about it being interrupted because they're supposed to coincide together, you know? It's fine. Also, the balloon spell was fun once, but then became lame. Yeah, I like how he does show the picture of Julius. You know, this, if you didn't know, you can loop Julius with balloon spam. So you basically just can spam only balloon while standing basically still, and he'll just die eventually. My level 1 strat. Number 13, the best thing about DDD that it introduced people to the world ends with you. Oh, that's hard sentence to read because of the game name. To be fair, that was me. I didn't really care much for the world though, but that's because I didn't know the characters, so I only had to go off these cutscenes to kind of like care about them, and it just didn't do that much for me. That's kind of a Kingdom Hearts problem though in general. If you don't know the movies, you're probably not going to care as much about the world the way they do it. And then it had Traverse Town because... wait, what? What is he saying here? Oh, okay. Sure. I'm not sure what kind of a hot take that is. Okay, he says Traverse Town's the best world. Okay. It's cool. I say I like it better than Twilight Town as a hub, kind of like a little mini hub, I guess. It's fine. Decent. Not really a hot take again. I think that's a lot. That could be a lot of people's favorite. Well, maybe Hollow Bastion is up there, but yeah. Anyway, the card mechanics and Rechain of Memories was stupid. I never finished the game because of it. It's a fair take. There's a lot of people that think this, but it's just not for you, then. I don't think the mechanics are stupid. It's just designed to play not like a normal Kingdom Hearts. So, I mean, you know, like, you can nitpick some of the mechanics of it, but I don't know. I think it plays fine for what it's trying to do. Moving on. Don't Think Twice is the best KH song. He will not elaborate. I mean, of course, subjective. I like Passion better, but, I mean, it's a fine song. You know, I think both are way better than Simple and Clean either way. That's my hot take. Kingdom Hearts Recoded wasn't that bad. In fact, he would say it was a good game, unlike DDD. I see this take a lot because Recoded allows you to chain commands pretty well in combat. I think my issue with the game was that there were so many gimmick minigame bosses for the main world bosses that it kind of just sucked me out of it pretty hard. Because, like, I don't really care about having a decent command deck for, like, mob fights, you know, and then the bosses are, like, kind of crap. Interesting, though, okay. I've seen that take before, though. That's a little bit more of a hot take, but, you know. Although 358 2 days was the best KH side game, even if the title made no sense whatsoever. Doesn't it make sense? I don't know what the confusion is there. Like, it was by days. Okay, whatever. Wait, what? Yeah, best side game. I think I had the best story of the side games for sure. I can not the gameplay though. I don't think the gameplay was that great. Anyway, it deserves a remake. Okay, that's fair. That's not a hot take. Agreed. Kairi always gets shafted. She deserves to be. Well, it's funny. She was playable technically in the DLC briefly, the Remind DLC. She does get shafted a lot. I think that's a problem that Nomura must have with writing these characters. He can't figure out how to make Kairi useful for some reason. He kind of did the same thing to Lee too when he brought him back. So, yeah, I agree with that. That's a common take, though. Not a hot take. I don't know why this guy... Obviously must be baiting interactions by saying hot takes when a lot of this is kind of at least from my point of view, is normal takes. Naminé also got shafted. Okay. She took away Sora's memories and that was never relevant again. If Kairi can use a giveaway, she should be able to as well, right? Like how Roxas does, because Sora can. That doesn't mean she would be able to be good with it. I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with that mindset, but I don't think she wanted to. Is that the right way to put that? Like, Kairi wanted to be like a fighter. That's, that's why she trained, and in Cage 2, she tried to fight a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, she wanted to. I don't think Naminé wanted to. Yeah, I can see how she was kind of like written out after that, being a little annoying. I mean, she was pretty big in, Recon, though. Pretty important to that story. And it went into Cage 2, early game. Kind of important. I guess he just wanted her relevant forever. The best Gummy iteration was in Cage 1 because it was the least intrusive. Because I don't give a fuck about the Gummy set. Okay, fair. I agree. I do appreciate that they're in the game, but most of the time they're just a slog dig through because you want to get to the good part of the game. But I think Cage 3 did it best because you could still skip a lot of it. Like, point A to point B, it's the same thing as Cage 1. In fact, it's easier because you don't have to worry about getting, like, dunked on by meteors and whatnot and on, like, Proud Mode and getting 1-2-shotted and whatever. There's a couple bosses, but they're pretty simple to just mash through pretty fast. So I think 3 did it better than 1, but both of them did it better than 2. So, yeah. Okay point. Goffy dying was the funniest shit you've ever seen. Yeah, it was a bit silly, especially because we know he survived after. If he actually stayed dead, then it would have been a little more impactful. So yeah, the fake out there was a little annoying. Yeah, agree. It was a bit stupid. Roxas is better than Sora. I think a lot of people think that. A lot of people lost their shit when he showed up in Cage 3, like Grand Return. People love playing as him in the DLC, even though he does like 2 things. I mean, I don't know, normal take. I don't like Sora either, but I also don't like Roxas either. I'm more of a, Riku before he was kind of like a little bit ruining Cage 3 kind of person, as far as the protagonists go. Also, Roxas is better than Ventus. Well, yeah, they are different. I agree with that. If someone doesn't know the series, sure, but it might be hard to tell the difference. But yeah, they have different personalities a little bit. Dolan is a good party member. He shouldn't have to heal you so much. He's just suck at the game. That's funny. I'll give him that one. He can come in clutch. We joke about people joke about he dies a lot, but there are ways to actually try to keep him alive, and he can help keep you alive pretty well. Anyway, it's a shame playing through Disney Worlds twice didn't come back in Cage 3 the best. No, I don't agree with this. This one would be a little nutty hot take. Some of the worst parts of Cage 2 are the second visits, like Pride Lands. What's another big one? LOD, Port Royal, because I didn't like the way Luxord was handled there, and it was just Grim Reaper fights essentially, which was annoying. I'm sure there's others. Halloween Town 2 for sure. Yeah, that's another trash. Yeah, this silly point. I don't agree with that at all. That one I could actually say is probably a hot take. Speaking of Cage 3 worlds are too big and samey. I wish there was more small but varied environments like the castle and the Kingdom of Corona. Sure, fair point. Not really a hot take, again. Starting to get the theme here that there's not a lot of hot takes here. It's just like normal opinions that a lot of people probably agree with. Because, there's a lot of 50-50 splits and even like 60-40 splits and 70-30s, all that stuff, people have different preferences. He changed his mind. Vanitas getting yeeted was the funniest shit you ever seen. Okay, that's true. I agree. That was pretty funny. Xemnas is the best antagonist boss fight in Cage. He's really good. I like him a lot. Ansem was fine for the first game until they made more games, and then I think, you know, both are better than Xehanort, I think. I like Marluxia a lot, obviously. I think he did a great job in Recon, so I'd put Xemnas and Marluxia as two really strong antagonists. Even Dark Riku, too, you know, Riku Replica as well. They're pretty good antagonists. It's also, yeah, it is a good boss fight, though. It's very aesthetically pretty damn cool. Pride rock sections of Cage 2 are bad. I agree. Lion King, one of my favorite old school Disney movies. They neutered it, butchered it. It was awful. Not a good time. Second visit was an insult through and through. However, he did appreciate the variety, so I think they should do it again. Wait, what? Huh? He thinks they should, what, bring back Pride Rock again? What, for, like, the side movies? I don't agree with that. Alright, anyway. The second funniest thing you ever seen was Ursula saying poopsies. Okay, sure. Half of these seem like they're just a joke, too. The Atlantis rhythm game in Cage 2 wasn't bad as long as you just did it all in one go like you did. Or if you just didn't replay the game ever. Because if you're 100% in the game more than once like me, you know, who plats multiple of the games, it's just a chore. It's 20 minutes of really terrible rhythm minigame. Moving on. Skateboarding was fucking rad. I didn't care for it, but I guess some people did. Final Fantasy subbids should be in Cage as well. Oh yeah, the Bahamut. Yeah, I remember that. That was in the code, but never actually done. I mean, I made a tweet a while ago saying that you know, the series doesn't need Final Fantasy anymore, and Nomura seems to be leaning in on that too. So I think it's unnecessary, but I'd be okay with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Lightning should have been in Cage 3, and I hope she's in Cage 4. I never really liked Lightning that much. She's kind of bland, but, you know, has a couple badass moments, but whatever. Then again, I haven't played 13.3 yet, so that could be on me. But as far as the base 13 goes, not quite. Same with 2B and 9S. If the world ends with you can make it in, then other Square properties should be able to as well. I guess. I guess they could do that, because if it's not just in Disney, sure. Because they basically do the same thing they did with the world and was with you as they did with Disney World, so it's like this, you know, same concept. Nomura, I hate that guy. I think that's just a meme, because everybody seems to blame Nomura for everything Square related, even if he's not involved, so it's fair. Fair joke. I assume that's a joke. I mean, I don't know. If you hate him that much, you might not like anything about the story. Why was there time travel in Cage? The writers must have been getting desperate, aka Nomura. I like I said, I think it was botched bringing time travel in. Because you're not really supposed to do that in your series if it's not explained at the beginning, like a part of the world. It's not like Timeless where it's like a controlled environment. It's hard to do that and do it well, and I think they botched it a bit. It's not as cool. Organization 13 being basically all Xehanorts was fucking lame. Sure, I agree. I didn't like that either. That's why I didn't really like the new org that much. Sora's gotten worse over the years to become a caricature of himself. He was always an anime prototype. He's one more. I see this sometimes, and then I just wonder, because I always think in my head the end of the beginning of the final bosses in Cage 2, where he like anime slices down the buildings, and it's like, did you forget that happened? That was pretty anime. I don't know, like the entire end sequence, like beat down against Xemnas, was awesome, but also anime. I don't know. He's always been anime, I think. That's a weird take. That's a weird take that I think people have. He's not the only one. Like I said, a lot of these are common. There's a town outside Destiny Islands. How come we've never seen it? Yeah, once again, brought up a lot. People kind of wish Destiny Islands would have been expanded upon more than just being an island in the first game. Could have been boring, though, so maybe that, you know, might be hard to make it interesting in that world. I've never gotten an Ultima weapon in Cage, and never will. All that work and for what? To make the game easier? Alright, I mean, obviously, that's probably just fucking around, but yeah. I mean, it's hard. Sometimes games make that mistake where they make the best weapon You have to do the hardest things to get the best weapon, or it just trivializes everything. They're not broken. They don't. Cage 2's isn't even like the best weapon. Wrong one. Cage 2's wasn't even the best weapon when it was when you get it. There's arguably better Keyblades depending on how you play. Okay, moving on. Decisive Pumpkin is the best and coolest Keyblade. Debatably the best in Cage 2. Coolest, that's up to taste. I don't think it's the coolest. It looks kind of stupid and sounds kind of dumb. But to each his own. The power of waking shit makes no fucking sense. I don't think it doesn't make sense. I think it's just kind of dumb the way they made it work in the story. How suddenly it's kind of just out of nowhere, and then Sora kind of just figures out how to use it that he should have been able to all along, and then they just kind of threw rules on it like you can't do that too much. No, it's just dumb. But I don't think it doesn't make sense. I think it was explained fine. While I love the Reflect and Magna spells in Cage 2, it's a good thing they didn't make it to 3. They were OP as all hell. I think they were, like, really needed in Cage 2, though. Like, imagine doing the core nobody fights without Magnet and Reflect. That'd be pretty rough. So it probably depends on the design of the enemies. Reflega is a bit busted. Base Reflect, not busted really at all. It's, you know, very small splash damage. So if you have mobile enemies, they're really easy to get out of that. In a small range to trigger too. Reflera and Reflega is where it gets broken. Magnega definitely pretty strong, but like I said, Magnera maybe would be a little bit more balanced. But yeah, you gotta. They can figure it out if they really wanted to bring it back. Because don't forget, Magnet uses a lot of MP too, so it's not like super easy to spam it without spamming items or go into drive forms or something to get MP back. Okay, halfway through, and we're 20 minutes in. Okay, that's not bad. The story for Cage games should focus on the Disney worlds and not whatever the fuck Nomura came up with. I like this. I do like complicated stories, though. That's why I like Xenogears storyline so much, is it's pretty complex for a single game. There's a healthy balance he could come up with, I think. I think the main bottom line this person's saying a lot that other people think, and I can agree with too, is maybe have the Disney worlds just be a little bit more prominent and important. Sea salt ice cream is delicious, and you should make it sometime. I've never had it. I don't know if I'd like it, but sure, cool. So what's funny about reacting to this is you're probably learning a lot about me. It's like, yeah, I've never had sea salt ice cream. I could have, I just didn't. Monstro was the worst world in Cage 1. Okay, remove my speedrunner brain for a second, where it's a pretty easy world. I wonder how people think about Deep Jungle. That's a world where if you don't know where to go, it's awful. This one, it's like you can get lost, kinda, but there's not like the rooms are all connected pretty well. When I think of people struggling in a world in this game, a lot of times, Atlantica is another one, I think, because of the swimming mechanics. People don't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Monstro would be considered the worst for a lot of people, but maybe a poll could say otherwise. I don't know. Pride Lands was the worst world in Cage 2. Atlantica? I mean, if you're not counting minigame worlds, then I guess I could agree with that. Pride Lands is pretty awful, especially the second visit. The second visit just destroys this world. I would have rather them come up with something else and had Scar been like still the final boss of the world. Anyway, Arendelle was the worst world in Cage 3. Another debated hot take, but I kind of agree with that. It was pretty boring. Worst world? Yeah, I think so. Like, even San Fran I liked more. Pirates was better, you know, 300 crabs aside and FPS dropping on console aside. The exploration was cool, so to me that bumps it up over Arendelle easily. So sure, I could see that. Toy Box was pretty rough too. The jungle was the best Disney World in Cage 1 Riptide. What? Weird. Well, I don't know. I just think I don't think Deep Jungle was that good of a world, but maybe it's just me. I think, well, I always heard people getting lost there all the time, and I think I might have experienced that on my first playthrough as well, where it's like, a lot of dumb triggers in that world to progress the story. Twilight Town is the best, or was the best world in KH2. You love the aesthetic. Well, he said Traverse Town was his favorite KH world, so okay. It's alright. People get a little sick of it, because if you're watching all the cutscenes with Roxas at the beginning, it's going to be a little bit annoying. But it's fine. Decent music. But Port Royal was the best Disney World in KH2. Oof. It was weird back then, I'll say, to have, like, a movie like this be put into the game. You know, definitely a completely new thing they did. I don't... It was a very gloomy world to be in. I know that's the aesthetic of the world, but I just didn't really go for it much, so definitely... That I could see that being considered more of a hot take. Scala was the best world in KH3. You love its aesthetic so much you want to live there. Sure. I see people say this a lot. I don't know about... I wouldn't want to live there, but... looks obnoxious, but looks cool. Good music. The Caribbean was the best Disney World in KH3. Again, they literally just put a Assassin's Creed 4 into Kingdom Hearts. Okay, kind of funny. Yeah, the exploration, I think, is what saves this world a lot, so it made it a little more fun. Not the most fun exploration you'll have in a game, but it's decent. Yeah, cool. The Monkey Heartless was the best Heartless because it was a monkey. Alright, fun. Oh, we got... Okay, I gotta hit more. Alright. The dancer nobodies are bullshit. Okay, common take. The dancers are pretty rough if you don't spam, like, magnet on them. Like, even in speedrunning, we keep them trapped so that they can't grab and one-shot us. Because on crit and level 1 crit, they can pretty easily one-shot you if you're low level and whatnot. So, yeah, I can see... I would say sorcerers are for sure the worst nobodies, like, hands down. They're very difficult to handle. Dancers is a lot more manageable. You can't keep a sorcerer stuck in magnet without it spamming its blocks in your face, so... Yeah, I don't know. Valor form was the most fun drive form in KH2. Yeah, hard disagree on that. You're just swinging around with it. I mean, it's you have no magic, no defensive skills. Your defensive skills are trying to parry, really. I don't agree with that at all. I think Master Form, Limit Form, and Final Form are all way more fun. Wisdom Form's debatable. I don't really like Wisdom Form that much, other than for movement. Genie is the best summon of all time. All right, sure. I'm sure people agree with that. I'm not saying the majority, but not a hot take. Just interesting opinion. Tron is the best Disney World party member. He will not elaborate. He was wholesome, so I guess if you're into that. Sure. Dream Eaters are stupid. I agree. I didn't really like them either. You know. Sure. I think a lot of people might think that. Even though they're OP, you love the variety of spells that are in KH1. Wish the later games had more spell variety. Like Gravity, I guess. Stop, probably, he's referring to. Because all the others are there, so it's just those two. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I guess I can agree with most of that. What happened to Tidus and Waka in KH1? The Destiny Islands fell to darkness, so we never saw them again. The plotline needs to be resolved. I mean, sure, it would be nice to know how they're doing now, I guess. They're obviously probably fine. Wait, why is it? This isn't 99. I'm at like 68 and it's done. Or is it? Do I gotta go through this ad? I don't know. Well, I'll try. Okay, give me a sec. All right, the 100 Acre Wood sections are awesome. They are very cute. I feel like, what? I mean, I'm sick of them. I'm sick of 100 Acre Woods. I know they keep making it the minigame world, but I'm sick of it. I don't want it to come back in KH4. It probably will. Nomura can't stop putting it in, I guess. Oh, I like how I like how Pooh's censored. That's the whole China discourse about it or whatever. That's funny. I didn't even notice that. What happens if I click on this? What the? What is wrong with this? I don't know if I should blame Twitter/X or what. This is all right. We're gonna be going down a rabbit hole now, I guess. All right, so he deleted his 69th one. I don't know if that's like for memes or what. All right, 70. Okay, what can you guys see? Make sure it's on the screen, right? Where is Max? Okay, fair point. That is kind of weird. I don't know if that means in the Cage Disney universe, Max doesn't exist. What the hell is going on here? This guy's deleting his hot takes. He's censoring himself. Call me a KH2 boomer, but the character designs peaked in this game. I mean, they're cool, yeah, sure. I think I like some of KH3's as well, though. Yeah. I didn't really like KH1's designs much, other than, I guess, like, Ansem. The fights in the Keyblade Graveyard in KH3 would have been so epic if they weren't so chaotic and stupid. Why did they make them 3-on-3? I like this fight a lot, actually. It really, really tests your ability to pay attention to everything around you. So, I don't know. It's also kind of a challenging fight. It's one of the fights that usually ends up... If no one dies on their Proud Mode playthrough blind, this fight might get them. I think it got me, so... and I've seen it happen to other people where they finally ended up dying here, so it's a tough fight. Chaotic, sure, but if you learn it, it's... you know what to look out for, so it's not as bad as you think, because they're all pretty, like, patternized. Moving on, controlling Riku in the final boss of KH2 was cool once, but then you realize how dog shit he controls. Well, yeah, of course, that's, you know, that's like a hindsight thing, I guess. Where, you know, it's just on repeated playthroughs, you're like, oh, I gotta play as Riku now. Flow motion was fun to use in DDD, but that's where it should have died. I don't agree. I think it's a fun way to get around. I think they did a good job balancing it in KH3 so that it wasn't broken, I guess. Sure. I don't agree with that. The boss arenas in KH3 are way too big. Shot lock and flow motion are used as band-aids for that flaw. Fighting boss... This specific boss is a bad example, because... it probably would be pretty hard if it was a small arena, would it not? With all the, like, missiles chasing you and his movement and stuff, and, like, you'd be near walls and whatnot. I don't know, like... Yeah, the game makes you use shot lock a lot to close gaps a lot of the time. For the story bosses, anyway, but... I don't see much of an issue with that, because you can close the gap pretty fast. It allows them to do flashier things, like its desperation move, where, like, everything gets up, and, you know, like, a small room would... kind of like ruin that fight. Even though I don't like this fight, it would ruin it like more. Anyway, after you beat a world, you should be able to get a summon of the party member of that world. So they, oh boy. I don't know. That might be a bit much. I see where he's going with this, but that might be a bit too much. I don't know if I would prefer seeing something like that. I wouldn't be probably against it. It's more options, but that'd be a lot. Especially because they stuck that balancing summons in KH3. I don't think they need to add more broken summons. Jiminy Cricket should have been a limit. No, he shouldn't have. That would be stupid. But yeah, I guess he's kind of forgettable because he kind of just obviously sits in the back and writes your journal, and everybody forgets he writes their journal because he doesn't say anything. Anyway, KH1 had the best story of any KH game. It was simple. Oh, he didn't say simple and clean and childlike, and that's all Disney crossover games. I don't agree at all, because I do like the way the mystery went when he got to, like, you know, Recom and KH2 and stuff. I think KH3, you know, struggled to bring it back together after all the side games, but I liked KH2's story a lot. The organization was really fun, like I said earlier. You know. So a lot of people, I think, do think the same thing, though. Like, they like KH1 the most because it's pretty simplistic, you know, hero plot. So with Disney thrown in, so, you know, like, if that's your cup of tea, then you'll like it the most, probably, or easily. The best thing to come out of BBS was the armor. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's why Lingering Will was so cool. It wasn't, like, if it looked like Terra, as we know him, probably would not have been as impactful as Mystery Armor guy. Sure, I mean, I'd be down. More cool, outfits. Better than seeing the Ord coat thrown on everybody always, I guess, because the point of the Ord coat is, what these do, too, which is, like, protect you from darkness, right? So, yeah, I agree. It might be just, like, a little bit lazy to make different designs. The art style of KH3 is worse than any of the other games, as a plastic-like look. I mean, you go back to KH1 and 2, they did not age well in terms of, like, overall graphic. I mean, they aged well in terms of their time period, but, like, They don't look pretty still compared to like Cage 3, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that makes... I don't agree with that at all. I think that's a little bit of a weird take. If you're... I mean, Kingdom Hearts has always, like, tried to look a little more cartoony, obviously. It's not looking like Final Fantasy, so... I think he was thinking Kingdom Hearts would look like Final Fantasy in the third game. Instead of cartoony. Or more modernized cartoony. Anyway, I don't know who this mobile game girl is, and I don't care. Cage 4 is going to be a dumpster fire. Weird take. I mean... That's funny that he says he liked the gameplay of it, but he must have not paid attention to the story. I don't know. It's just funny. I mean, it's like half joking, I think, but sure. Yozora should have been a cool reference to a dead game, but now he and Nomura's other fanfic characters are going to be more important to the story. I mean, I don't know if that's true. We might, where you have no guarantee we're going to see Yozora in Cage 4. It could be all Master of Masters stuff going on. But we'll see. I like it. I think it makes it more interesting. Because I thought Xehanort was a terrible villain, personally, so... I'm not saying he's a villain, I guess, but... I mean, you know, like, as far as, like, making new things interesting, you got Master Masters, who we don't really know much about, who's interesting, and then Yozora, who's also interesting. So if, like, Yozora's a good, interesting protagonist that ends up teaming up with Sora, that'd be fun, I think. Why is Kairi forever in Keyblade training? Well... Yeah, Nomura's... We went over this earlier. He's just repeating on this one. He sucks at making Kairi useful. Because even the game that she was supposed to was supposed to be her game, ended up just resulting in Sora doing all the work at the end anyway, so it's kind of lame. Oop. Aqua is the best Kingdom Hearts... Or Disney... Or sorry, not Disney. The best Kingdom Hearts character ever. I don't agree. Obviously, I don't agree because of Marluxia, but... I just don't like her that much. She just is kind of like boring and bland, roughly. I know she has like terrible stuff that has happened to her, but I don't care about her. Terra became infinitely cooler once he got the Alphonse Elric id. Okay, whatever. That. Wait, what? Oh, I see what he's saying. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah, okay, well, just a silly take. Why did these organization members come back once they got their hearts back? Wait, isn't that explained already? Okay, let me keep reading. In the old Org 13, they were gaslighted into believing they didn't have hearts. Yeah, sure, okay. And that they needed to get them back, but why now? I swear they had nothing better to do. I mean, it's pointed out in DDD that Xemnas lied, Sora calls him on it. Not the greatest writing there, obviously, but it is explained. I think it was just giving Nomura a way to bring back some of these characters and stuff. You know. Cage 1 Sora has got to be the worst fit imaginable. Yeah, okay. We see jokes about this all the time with the onesie, and some people still think it's their favorite, or like they say it's their favorite. So, fashion choice is subjective, I guess. Star Wars should not be added to Cage. I mean, I guess you could argue Marvel shouldn't be either, because we think in Cage 4 there's that... remember the trailer that was... what was it? The launch trailer. No, sorry, not launch trailer. Teaser trailer? What am I looking for? Announcement trailer or something like that. That showed a little bit of Star Wars, or something in it that looked like a Star Wars walker in it. It's hard to say it doesn't look like it. Like, you compare them side to side, they're like exactly the same. They might have leaked that. Like, legitimately, there might be Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts 4. And it's hard to say no, just, you know, it's like, yeah, sure, they could have just made something in the background that looks just like that, like some sort of, like, pillar. But it doesn't seem, like, that would be so coincidental. But we won't know until they reveal it, so... I don't care. If they make it fun, it's fine. Fun worlds are great. Don't make Pride Lands V2, you know? That's where I'm at. Vanitas is a dumb character, Xehanort's little bitch boy world. I mean, yeah, I mean, I didn't really like him much in Cage 3 either. You know, it kind of just felt like he was there to be there. Just be another antagonist. I can kind of agree with that. Not that he's Xehanort's little bitch boy, but that he's just not that great of an antagonist. But, what's this one? Xehanort was good all along. Yeah. I ripped into this pretty heavily too. I hate when stories tend to do this when they really shouldn't. Xehanort from the beginning was shown as being like the obvious evil guy. He did really fucked up things, kind of ruined people's lives, and then suddenly it's well, okay. First of all, he wasn't like a good guy. I get, you know, it's just like what he thinks is doing right. He thinks it's for the better of the world. So it's kind of like a pseudo, like doing, you know, just misunderstood. So he's not like a good guy, but I didn't like that they moved him away from being just like a pure evil fuckface that wanted to ruin everybody and ruin the world. They gave him a pretty lame reason to do it, and it just, I just, you know, I just think that was a botch. So I half agree with this, I guess, you know, because he got the good all along part wrong. I don't think anybody. If that's what this person had as a takeaway with Kingdom Hearts 3 ending, I don't think they paid attention. But the twist of what he was trying to accomplish is what was stupid about Xehanort's character, I thought. I mean, you know, I'm sure people will defend it, but I didn't like it. That'd be, I don't know, that'd be like like I like Marluxia a lot. It's like, imagine just at the end of Recom, him coming up with some stupid reason why he did what he did, and thought it was for the greater good, and then sort of like, you know, emphasizes with him. I don't like that idea. KH needs more Cypher. He was clearly the best. As an FF8 fan, I hate what they did with Cypher in Kingdom Hearts. Don't want that again. Alright, we're almost done. God, why do they have to have a story reason that Sora gets reset in every game? How is this boy so stupid? To be fair, the fact that they are writing it into the lore is already challenging to do. Otherwise, you know, like, it's interesting. I understand the frustration that they're making excuses. You know, Kingdom Hearts 4 is obviously going to do it again. Like, oh, he's in a different world, so you forgot all... You know, they're going to do that, I'm sure. It's just the way it is. I don't think it's that stupid. If they want to write in... If Nomura wants to write it into the lore, it's his choice. Having an explanation for it, like I said, is kind of neat. Mechanically, Sora should look like Roxas after KH1. What? How does Sora have a body if Roxas exists and nobody is the body left behind? Oh my god, I don't want to think about this right now. What the fuck? I wonder, I'm not like looking too much into this. I wonder if he's just confused about the whole Ven situation. That might be where he's getting a little confused, because I'm trying to think why he thinks Sora should look like Roxas from here on out or something. That's a weird, I don't know. That's a weird thing to say. Whatever. That might just be like a comprehension problem, I think. But I'm not gonna sit here and like try to organize my thoughts of the timeline of Roxas, Ven, and Sora. Anyway, Mickey Mouse is literally a piece of shit. Okay, this is a joke. People joke about this all the time. Yeah, Mickey, bad excuse for Mickey not to go try to save. It just seems out of character for him to not want to try to save Aqua. I thought that was kind of just stupid writing, I thought. Bad reason. 96. What powers do the Princesses of Heart even have? The power to get captured if they're so powerful. I don't... This has to be a joke. This one has to be a joke. You know that their power isn't to, like, fight. They're just, like, powers of light, really. They're not, like, fighters. Well, Kairi's trying to be. And Belle did that one cool thing in KH2, you know, where I'm pretty sure she elbowed Xaldin, if I remember correctly, which was kind of funny. You gotta give her props for that. Otherwise, yeah, weird thing to say. In fact, the Guardians of Light should be the princesses, not the Keyblade wielders. Yeah, sure. Princess Sora, Princess Riku, Princess... Yeah, no, I don't know. Weird. I think this person's probably, like, kind of joking right now. Probably running out of things to say. Trying to get to 99. Attractions was a great addition to Kingdom Hearts. No. That was pretty universally hated, so much so that on Crit they let you turn them off because they were so bad. So annoying. That, we got to 98. That is the hottest take he's had, I think, on this whole list. And now I'm actually not even sure if any of them are legit now after reading this. I don't know. This one actually is the hottest take. Alright, last one. finally, my last hot take is that Kingdom Hearts is a fucking stupid franchise, but god damn it, I still love it. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of, maybe I shouldn't say a lot of people on that one. I kind of am a little bit in that boat where the story's kind of like a little silly when I'm hoping Masters and Yozora make it better again. And the, you know, it's kind of a little dumb. But it was kind of a little dumb at the beginning when it was like all about, you know, having like Disney, you know, like anime protagonist characters with Disney characters. It was meant to be like that. If they made better dialogue writing now to be a little bit more modernized instead of the weird outdated styles, I think that would help it a lot to be a little more stomachable with the cutscenes. We'll see what Kingdom Hearts 4 does. Kingdom Hearts 4, I think Nomura claimed it was going to be like darker or something. I can't remember the interview, but offhand, but I think that was the idea because he's like in a real world now. So okay, well, we made it to the end. I didn't think I actually would, but I plowed through a lot of them because, like I said, I originally, when I saw someone quote retweet this, that's what got it to my attention. I responded saying, after I read the first 10 to see what it was all about, and then I kind of got the gist where it's like half of them they seemed like they were like normal takes, like 50-50 split kind of takes, and then the other half were like jokes. And after going through all 99 of them, it feels like that kind of was the whole theme of it. So I have no idea if this guy actually believes a lot of these takes or what, because some of them seem like they were kind of just incorrect, especially talk about the story. But a lot of it was agreeable though, so you know. But that's the thing, he picked a lot. The attraction thing was the only thing that stood out to me as like a super hard hot take, and yeah, that's funny. Anyway, I guess I'll wrap this video up. It's kind of fun going through this. I had a good time. Shout outs to this guy for giving me free, easy reaction content. Granted, my voice isn't happy that I had to read them all. I read them all out for you guys, obviously, so if you're listening to it, rather than... I know I cut short on some of them. I read it out to you guys so that if you're just listening rather than watching, you'll know what I'm talking about instead of going like, all right, number 7. Don't agree. Number 8, don't, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, this was nothing in comparison to some of the actual hot takes I've seen on social media. I'm surprised some people went feral over this. Because I think every time somebody... because I follow so many Kingdom Hearts people, you know, content creators and whatnot on Twitter, every time somebody brings up something that's controversial, even in the slightest, it just blows up, and then... they have to, you know, people gotta come in and damage control and be like, oh, Kingdom Hearts is supposed to be blah, blah. You know, it's like, oh my god. It's like this happens like weekly. So I thought this would be kind of like nuttier, going from the way people were reacting to it, but honestly, it's kind of tame. But it was still fun nonetheless, and hopefully those of you who sat through it with me the whole time maybe learn some things about how I feel about the series that I don't usually talk about, because I don't really think about it until I see somebody else's crazy take on it. Anyway, I guess I'll end the recording now, but thanks for watching as usual. Bye, guys.